My name is Sienna Reed, and this is my speech. I'm at work, so my audience is going to be people at my work. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a feeling of uncertainty when deciding your future right out of high school. The question always becomes, what are you going to do? The stigma is a certain career path bears heavy on young people, and no one wants to make the wrong decision. Personally, I was accepted to ASU, a renowned four-year university, fresh out of high school, and at the time I thought I had a lot of grant money and scholarships. The story evolves though. Once you get to college, there are hidden fees, the stress of a full schedule, and the pressures to pick and stick to a $40,000 degree program with only an idea of what you actually want to do. After having the experience of a four-year university and then transferring after a year to community college, there are many reasons to opt for a community college experience over a four-year university. First, the pricing of a four-year university compared to college shows how expensive college can really get. Tuition, which doesn't include books, services, or additional fees, can be over 30% more expensive than a community college tuition. According to a fact sheet put out by American Association of Community Colleges in 2016, community college tuition averages around $3,430, whereas a four-year college base price starts at $9,410 annually. Speaking from experience, my tuition base price for my program at ASU was $11,000 a year, and because of that, it was because I was a pre-nursing student. My college tuition was more expensive than other programs, even though I was taking the same exact prerequisite classes as some of my other friends. It was just because I was pre-nursing that my tuition was more expensive. Another factor that affects tuition expenses in the overall experience of college is class sizes. On the Tempe campus for ASU, class sizes can get up to 300 students or more, depending on what prereq class you're taking and what professor you have. And because of that, when we would take quizzes, we had little remote controls that we had to have, which we had to buy, which were $100. And that was so that our teachers would have more help with the grading aspect of our assignments. Versus handwriting, hand looking at our assignments, making sure we were getting proper feedback for all of the things that we were turning in. Because of that, it's super glazed over. You are basically teaching yourself, and there's not a lot of direction when it comes to, if you do get a bad grade, why do I get that bad grade? But on the plus side too, with the $11,000 for my tuition, it was because the campus that I specifically was at for ASU was a smaller campus. My class size was smaller than the Tempe class size, and because of that, I technically was getting charged for having more opportunities for one-on-one time with my professors, which was all hypothetical. I didn't really have a lot of interactions with my professors outside of just listening to the lectures. In an article posted by Education Corner, they state classroom discussions are more common and professors are generally more accessible to students. And with fewer papers and exams to grades, professors can give more feedback and develop personal relationships with students in community college settings. In a community college setting versus a classroom of up to 300 students, that's a very big deal, especially for people who are just fresh out of high school, who go from only having about 15 to 20 people in a class, and then blowing that up to a large scale of 300 students. Along with smaller class sizes, there's a more flexibility when it comes to choosing your schedule and the courses that you want to take. Course availability is often very restricted within a university. The idea of the university is that everyone can afford to live on campus, and everyone they're just students. They don't do anything outside of school. They don't have jobs. They don't have responsibilities. So if you ever plan to go to work and school at the same time, four-year universities aren't usually for you. My board to live at the ASU dorms was $10,000 a year on top of the $11,000 I was already paying for tuition. And my grants covered my tuition, but nothing covered my room and board or the meal plans that they sign you up for the food that they offer. The class schedules usually start around 7 a.m. and then end right around 5 p.m., which doesn't give a lot of flexibility to people who have jobs outside of school or who have different schedules or need to pick people up or have cars or anything like that. In a fact sheet posted by scholarships.com, they state they offer far more night classes than other universities and more schedule options. One of the latest classes I ever took at CSN went as late as 10:30, and it was a lab that I needed. And then I also have taken a 9-hour lecture and lab combination on Sundays, where I was able to just go, sit, take my entire class on a Sunday, one day out of the week, and I was still getting all the information that I needed. When looking at class flexibility, cost and class size all in one, it allows a feeling of control when you're at a community college. Universities create a sense of pressure to be involved 24/7, finish in 4 years, and never change your major. In reality, not everyone walks the same path, so having a one-size-fits-all for a college experience stigmatizes those who decide to go a different way. We all know that around that same age of 18 to 20, mental health is a very big issue, and universities are a very bad breeding ground for mental health habits, with the pressures of signing up for loans that they'll be paying for the rest of their adult lives in a major that they only have a mere idea about, and then a restrictive, demanding schedule. It's easy to feel like you have no control. In an article put out by The Economist, higher education is not what it used to be. It states, 2/3 of graduates now take out loans. Those who earned bachelor degrees in 2011 graduated with an average debt of $26,000, according to the Project on Student Debt, a nonprofit group. That's not including interest. And along with those high amounts of money spent, there aren't the same number of degrees even completed. In an article posted by the New York Times, college graduation rates are stagnant. It states in Texas, for example, of every 100 students who enrolled in public college, even after 4 years, only 21 of the 100 break down to 5 graduating on time, and after 8 years, only 13 people earning degrees. This clearly shows that the one-size-fits-all, commit to everything right out the gate model of universities crushes people and gives no room for what actually happens in life. When comparing the two options for four-year university and community college, it's pretty clear that the pros are always in favor of the community college, and it's just as popular as a university because of the stigma. This isn't to say four-year universities aren't ever a good idea or that there aren't ways to transfer back and forth, but it's worth looking at due to the fact that the tuition is less, class sizes are smaller and more flexible, and there's less pressure and added responsibility versus a four-year university. Okay, and then this is my audience. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.